The news channel cut to breaking coverage. A small house. Boxes on the sidewalk. A man standing still, holding his daughter's hand. Eviction in progress, the reporter said. The single dad didn't argue. Didn't shout. Just watched strangers carry his life outside. His name was Daniel. His daughter clutched a stuffed toy. Confused. Dad, are we leaving? She asked. Daniel forced a smile. Just for a little while, he said. Cameras stayed close. Because struggle always draws attention. Neighbors whispered. Phones recorded. But no one stepped in. Miles away, high above the city, a billionaire CEO sat in a glass-walled penthouse. Her name was Elena. She wasn't really watching. Just letting the TV play in the background. Until something made her pause. Eviction filed under property group, the reporter continued. A name flashed briefly on the screen. Elena frowned. Because she recognized it. Not just the company, but the address. She stood up slowly. Walked closer to the screen. Zoomed image. Clearer now. The house. The street. Her expression changed. No, she whispered. Because that address wasn't just another property. It was connected to something buried. Something she hadn't thought about in years. Back on the street, Daniel picked up a box. The landlord spoke coldly. Payment wasn't made. We followed procedure. Daniel nodded. I understand, he said quietly. No excuses. No begging. Just acceptance. The camera zoomed in on his daughter. Tears forming. Elena's grip tightened on the remote. Because suddenly, this wasn't just news. It was personal. Very personal. She grabbed her phone immediately. Get me everything on that property, she said. Her voice. Sharp now. Focused. Because something didn't feel right. And she wasn't the kind of person who ignored instincts. Back on the street. The last box was placed down. Daniel looked at the house one final time. Then turned away. Not knowing. Someone powerful was already stepping into his story. And everything was about to change. Elena didn't sit back down. She stood frozen. Eyes locked on the screen. That address, she whispered again. Her assistant's voice came through the phone. We're pulling records now, he said. Faster, Elena replied. Because something inside her was already certain. Minutes felt longer than hours. Then the file arrived. Ownership history. Transfers. Legal notes. Elena scrolled quickly. Until she saw it. Her breath stopped. Impossible, she said softly. Because the property was originally tied to a trust. A trust created years ago. By her father. And that house was never supposed to be sold. Never supposed to be touched. Who authorized this eviction? She demanded. Her tone. Cold now. Corporate. Her assistant hesitated. It went through one of your subsidiary divisions, he said. Automated process. Missed payments triggered. Shut it down, Elena snapped. Immediately. A pause. We can't reverse an eviction that fast, he replied carefully. Elena grabbed her keys. Then I'll handle it myself, she said. Call ended. Within minutes. Her car was already moving. Fast. Purposeful. Back on the street. Night had fallen. The crowd was gone. The cameras had left. Only silence remained. Daniel sat on the curb. His daughter resting against him. Boxes around them. Their entire life. Packed into pieces. "Dad, where will we sleep?" she asked softly. Daniel looked at the ground. Thinking. Planning. Trying to stay strong. "We'll figure it out," he said. But this time. His voice carried weight. Because even he wasn't sure. Headlights appeared in the distance. Bright. Approaching fast. A black luxury car stopped right in front of them. Engine still running. The door opened. Elena stepped out. Sharp. Focused. Completely out of place. In that quiet street. Daniel looked up. Confused. Their worlds. About to collide. "Are you Daniel?" she asked directly. He nodded slowly. "Yes." She took a step closer. Studying him carefully. Then glanced at the house. Then back at him. "This eviction," she said. Pausing slightly. "Should never have happened." Daniel stared at her. Unsure what to say. People didn't just show up like this. Not with that kind of presence. "What do you mean?" he asked. Elena took a slow breath. Composing herself. "This house," she said, looking at it again, "was never meant to be taken from you." Daniel frowned. "I missed payments," he replied. "That's how it works." Elena shook her head. "Not this one," she said. She stepped closer. Her voice softer now. "My father set up a trust years ago," she explained. "This property was protected under it." A pause. "It was meant to ensure that whoever lived here would always have a home." Daniel blinked. Trying to process it. "That doesn't make sense," he said. "It doesn't," she agreed. "Which means something went wrong." Her tone sharpened again. "But not at him. At my company." She pulled out her phone. Dialed immediately. "I want every legal action on this property reversed," she said. "Tonight." A pause. "I don't care how, fix it." She ended the call. Then looked back at Daniel. "I'm sorry," she said. Simple. But real. Daniel glanced at his daughter. Then back at the house. "So what happens now?" he asked. Elena reached into her coat. Pulling out a small envelope. Inside. A set of keys. She held them out. "You go back inside," she said. Silence. Because moments like that don't feel real at first. Daniel didn't move. "You're serious?" he asked. Elena nodded. "This house is yours to stay in," she said. "No more payments. No more notices." His daughter looked up at him. Eyes wide. "Dad, we can go home," she whispered. Daniel's voice caught slightly. "Just for a second." "Yeah," he said softly. He took the keys. Hands steady. But heavier than before. Because this wasn't just help. It was restoration. Elena stepped back. Giving them space. Daniel walked to the door slowly. Unlocked it. Opened it. The same house. But everything felt different. His daughter ran inside. Laughing. The sound filled the silence of the street. Daniel stood in the doorway. Looking back at Elena. "I don't know how to thank you," he said. Elena shook her head. "You don't," she replied. A pause. "Just take care of it," she added. "That's what it was meant for." Daniel nodded. "I will." She gave a small smile. Then turned toward her car. But before getting in, she looked back one last time. At the house. At the light now glowing inside. And for the first time in a long while, she felt something different. Not control. Not power. But purpose. Because fixing a mistake meant more than any deal she had ever made. Inside, Daniel sat on the floor with his daughter, surrounded by boxes again. But this time, they weren't leaving. They were home. And sometimes, it only takes one person to turn loss back into belonging.